I watch like awkward and stuff on YouTube. I watch you.
Yep.
I watch other people,
Yep.
and I've tried multiple different strategies. Like even on support, I mean, I've tried every class, obviously.
Right.
Um,
Okay. So how long you been playing Overwatch? Period.
maybe for about a year and a half, maybe two.
Okay. What got you into it initially? Was it just Overwatch 2 coming out, or what?
Oh, I've been wanting to play this ever since it came out. I just haven't had a console. I mean, I was
Ah.
on console, but now I'm on PC.
Ah. Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And what's your hero pool, like your hero history? Like you said, you recently have been moving on to tank, but at the time of the forum, you said
Yep.
DPS and then maybe even support back in the day. So, like, what is that transition and moving on from hero to hero? What does that look like?
Well, firstly, I joined Overwatch playing support because that's what I wanted to play Ana because ever since she came out, I was like, oh my God, I want to play her so badly.
Mm-hmm.
Just the satisf the satisfaction of hitting sleep darts and stuff is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
at its bottom for me. So
Yeah.
I like playing her. And then that was about it. I got bored of her because I just kept on getting dived and I didn't know what to do. Got frustrated. So then I moved
Yep.
on to DPS, which I just fell in love with Echo. She's just movement ability. She can stay in the back lines forever.
Yep.
And I just love her burst potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Venture, she was pretty fun as well. Oh, they, whatever. And then I've gone to tank because I've just found DPS very unfun
Okay. What did you
recently.
not enjoy about DPS? Because you explained what you didn't like about support. You were getting dove and
Yeah.
dying, struggling.
I just feel like some games I'm like full in,
Mm-hmm.
like with mentality, like I'm thinking about everything, and then other games I'll just like go off and do my own thing or whatever. I don't even realize it until I'm dead. And it's
Right.
just that frustrates me.
Okay. So give me an example of that. Maybe anything that you can remember recently where that happened.
Maybe on like a Hollywood map, I'd go because you know the how there's like megas around the edges and stuff. I was just going around to the second point
Yep.
the last point for the attackers like spawn room. I was around that area, just like
Yeah. Yeah.
spawn camping them,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I got deflected and with like everything by Genji, and I just kept on getting destroyed, and I just feel like I couldn't do anything against their tank either because
Sure.
he was just insane, and
Sure.
I didn't feel like I contributed much to the team.
So you're kind of describing like an individual circumstance, right? So it was
Yeah,
like I
I'm
couldn't really didn't feel like I was particularly useful on their backline or on their DPS, and then I couldn't really do anything to the tank. Like, what am I supposed to do?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. And then tank. When has this transition started, and how has it gone since you've moved over?
I found tank quite fun. I really like Junkerqueen. I love how you can just throw a knife at someone, pull them towards you, and just one shot them.
Yep.
I love that. At least in my rank, you can do that.
Yep.
Um, Ramattra as well. I love his like instantaneous swap from brawl to poke.
Yep.
That's really fun as well. His ultimate is just insane as well, especially in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, I like nearly all the heroes, like D.Va, Doomfist, Winston. I like as well. So other ones which I don't really like Wrecking Ball, Roadhog, and
Sure.
Zarya.
When did you make that transition to being
When
more
did
of a tank
I?
main?
Maybe more recently, like maybe for like last month.
Okay. Interesting. And overall, it has gone relatively well. Have there been any hiccups?
Oh no, I've just been smashing out games today just to try and find like one or two codes for you. And I've just gone like 12 and 6 or something. I was like, oh yeah.
Nice, 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 nice. What happens when you don't win? Do you still have fun? Do you ever have those moments like you had with Echo in Hollywood with Tank?
Um, I did have a game with like that today. I was in comms and everything. Everybody else was in comms, and I just wanted to make a play, but I don't think at my rank gold, I don't think many people understand how Zarya's bubble works, so they just
Yep.
kept on shooting her. I'm like, I've just kept on swapping tanks, just trying to see anything that might work. It was just kept on running into their bullets.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense. Let's see here. And how much Overwatch are you getting in? At the time of the forward, you said like 2 to 3 hours a day, around 3 per week, or 20 per week. Excuse me.
Um,
How's that now?
that's it's maybe decreased a little bit. I've gone more into like what I like to do instead of gaming. I
Mm-hmm.
like to game, but I understand that it affects some parts of your life as well, in time
Yes.
management specifically.
Yes.
And I like to do other stuff as well, apart from just gaming. So
Yep.
it's
Smart.
a lot of stuff I need to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And where are you at right now? Just like 2 hours a day, on average? At one or two? Just a little less.
Um, Today I just got home and smashed out games because from school. I just smashed
Yeah, of
out
course.
games because I needed to find some codes because I wasn't prepared.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
What do you feel is holding you back from improving? At the time of the forum, you said, I find myself not playing with my team a lot. That was your more DPS thing. If you were to describe your struggles with tank right now, what would you describe?
Um, Probably just my surroundings, maybe.
Okay.
Um, and I don't think with my hero pool I'm able to eh, like help out teammates which are further behind me
Mm-hmm.
as much. I like to help out my teammates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I like about Zarya. How you can bubble other people. That's like a really cool concept
Right.
to
I
me.
agree.
I can't play her for the life out of me because it's like extreme cooldown management, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically that, and probably my own cooldown management, just in general. I think I
So
just spit everything out at once.
so just cooldown management in general, and you seem like you're really, really focused in on helping teammates, supporting teammates when and where you can.
Yep.
So if you were to pull up your career profile right now, are you at your PC?
Yep. Yep. I'm on it
Okay.
right now.
Can you tell me, read out or screenshot what your competitive season profile from right now looks like in terms of hours for each hero?
All right. Season. Yep. Mm, Queen season 10.
Uh, yeah, yeah, that's fine. I think this
Wait,
season
are we
or
in season 10?
we're in season 11, but yeah, season 10 too would be
Oh,
useful.
okay. I don't think I played much tank then. I
All
don't
right,
know
then
what's
just
up, but it says that I've only played 4 games of tank this season. That's extremely weird. Is that like a bug?
I don't know. It's it. Are you sure you're looking at the? Well, let me look at it really quick here. Current competitive season. No, it says games won. You've played more than four, but maybe you've only won four. I don't know. Did you
I've
play quick play like maybe on another account? I don't know.
no, I've played a bunch of games today. What's it?
Weird. That's odd.
Screenshots. Yeah,
Yeah, odd.
I
I
just got.
honestly don't. I don't know honestly. So regardless, would you say that's like ignoring the amount of time? Is that an appropriate like breakdown of like how much time that you're spending on each tank? Like is Ram your primary tank, and then Winston, Diva, and so on?
Um, March is just fun to play for me. So is JQ.
Yep.
Winston, he's easy to play, but it's the decisions that are difficult, I reckon, for him.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
who to dive, what timing, everything, trying to get everything down packed.
Yep. Yep.
Diva, I
100%.
feel like as soon as I blur out Zarya, Moira, fucking what's her name? The other laser girl, Symmetra.
Yeah. Symmetra. Yep.
Yeah. And Brig, I just get rolled over and I have to swap. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Uh, I wanna. What do you? By the way, what do you want to look at today in terms of gameplay? What tank or tanks would you like to look at?
I was hoping to do Junkerqueen and Ramattra.
Okay, we can look at both of those. Excellent. Um,
Yep.
so when we talk about your choice of tanks, if you were to just play any two or three tanks that you want without feeling the need to swap, what would those tanks be?
Do you want like a balanced? What I think
No,
a balanced out of my favorites would be?
no, not for screw balance. Just what do you think are your favorite two or favorite three?
Favorite two, Ramattra, Junkerqueen, and then probably maybe Diva or Doomfist. But sorry, those two are like equal for me.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we'll take a look at some of those. I think that that's a fairly decent hero pool. I think that you could probably play one of those in all situations, right? Like
Mm.
Ram, Queen, Diva, or Doom. Like one of those is going to be totally fine. And you said, last thing before I want to get into a little bit of gameplay review here, you talked a lot about how you have spent time looking at some of my content, you've looked at some of Awkward's content, and you've struggled. Where are you at rank-wise right now? Maybe not as much with Tank, but where are you at with Tank right now?
Right now, I went all the way from gold 5 today to gold 2.
Nice.
So that's pretty good. DPS, I'm just chilling on at 4 and support, and I'm on gold 5.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And when you looked at some of the content, like mine or anybody else's or Awkward's, what were some things that you learned or tried to implement and were unsuccessful at doing?
Um, with awkward, the biggest thing probably was trying to focus more on damage specifically. And because of like, I guess I've been influenced by awkward, but I don't like Mercy anymore.
Uh huh.
Like, it's playing her, playing against her, playing with her. I'm not a fan of her
Mm-hmm.
anymore. That's probably the biggest thing for me, and just only healing teammates when they really need to be healed. When
Okay.
I'm critical, as long
Okay.
as I have an enemy in front of me.
Okay.
Um, and from you, I watch what's the name, the individual characters and stuff.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
And what
and I
things have
just
you applied, or honestly, what things have you struggled to apply? Because I'm sure
um
you've taken some things and like this has not worked or this has not felt
yeah,
good. I'm curious.
I feel like I've grown a better understanding of positioning with your video. I've watched like every single second of all of your map breakdowns,
Yep.
and it's very sad that you haven't done more. Um, those were really good. I enjoyed those. That covered a lot. I like that. What else? And yeah, I write down the notes that you write down with all your other um reviews,
Right.
like with the adventure one.
Okay. 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 And what stuff have you been unable to apply or maybe have felt like there's something still missing? Do you feel like there's anything missing in terms of like your gameplay right now or what you understand or what you're struggling
Probably
to execute?
the easiest thing at the moment is probably mechanical, and then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is positioning, which are like two of the biggest fundamentals, which I understand.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Okay. Do you want to get in some gameplay look right here?
Yeah,
All
I'd love
right.
that.
Let's do that. Which of these games would you like to look at? You can shoot me over the code or whatever.
Um, one of them I lost, but I feel like I should have won, and the other one was like a win.
Sure. As long as they're characters you want to
Which
look at, works for me.
I think I'll go with this one. Should be Colloseo.
Okay. Got it. So we're kind of, I wouldn't say skipping, but we definitely zoomed a little bit past some of my recommendations for like playtime and warm up and practice. But I think that you probably have a general idea of how that should be approached. And I'd like to, as quickly as we can, get into some gameplay because I think we can answer some questions from here as well. But do you have any questions before we jump into gameplay?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Let's see here. So this is Queen Doomfist Ram.
Yes.
So I'm going to kind of force you to, before we even look at Queen, what made you or encourage you to swap from Queen to Ram? What about the situation? Do you
Um,
remember?
I'm not sure I got it off the top of my head, but I
Okay.
think it was mainly because of their range,
Okay.
and I don't think I could have like what's the name?
Struggle to close the distance kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Understandable. And then we go Ram. And then let's see what happens from here. I think you make an additional swap here. Uh,
I don't feel comfortable fighting like mirrored as well. I'm not a mirror fighting kind of guy.
Got it. Okay. And this feels like a swap just to get back faster, and then you
Yeah,
stay
that
Doom.
was, yeah.
Yeah, so then you stay, and then I think at some point you make a swap again, or maybe you don't. No, you stay.
I
Okay.
don't think I do.
Okay. So let's take a look here. You know what I'd like to do? Let's do something different. I want
Yeah.
you to send me another code where you make swaps like this, where you make multiple tank swaps. And we're not going to even look at the footage. We'll come back and look at this footage, but I'd like to talk through the swaps.
Ops, yep.
Any game comes to mind, just let me know.
I mean, I can show you that that game where I did terribly in.
Well, just wherever you made multiple swaps that you felt like you were forced to make. That's what I want to look for.
Mm, I think I have one.
Even if it's just one swap.
Yep. I think I only swapped onto the second round.
Sure. Start JQ. Oh, so you go Ram
And go JQ
here.
this hold up. Oh, Ram.
Yeah, so then you go Ram. Now, why did you swap Ram here? Is this tank?
Um, I think my team needed more of a shield. I don't think they were working with the shout, and we don't really have. I feel like we didn't really have that big of like a rush kind of
Right.
mob.
Right.
So I don't think they could capitalize off of my shout
Okay.
that effectively.
Okay. Understandable. We'll keep going here. And then you end up going, you said second round, I think you swapped. Now, why did you swap Monkey here?
Mainly because we were in comms here, and I just wanted to. Well, firstly, it's Zarya, and I thought I
Now,
could
why
take
is
out
Winston good versus Zarya?
because you can jump over her to her backline, and if you place your bubble down, she can't bubble her people.
Sure. Sure. If you were playing,
That's how I see it.
yeah. If you were playing Ram into Zarya, what can Ram do versus Zarya? The character that you were on
Just
previously.
go into his punch form and just like eat all of her damage while she's bubbled up.
Sure. Okay. I mean, you felt like here it was a better situation to just go past the Zarya entirely, or at least have the threat there.
Yes.
Okay.
I like to like pull off aggressive angles so my teammates have the enemy's backs facing them.
Understandable. Okay. And then here, stay Winston. But you actually end up losing this round as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember this game? Do you remember why it felt like you were struggling?
I felt like my team just didn't have that much cohesion.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't working together. Everybody's playing their own game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spamming like group up here. I'm trying to stay alive. I'm trying to.
Right.
We were gonna go in here as well, but no, they got beat.
Right. Okay. Let's go back to this Colloseo game then. I wanted to just get a better understanding of like what is this the one here, I think? Yeah, this is the one here.
Yeah.
I want to get a better understanding of like some of the decisions that you're making, some of the choices that you're making. So let's just get this out of the way really fast. I think in the majority of circumstances, any pressure you will put upon yourself with many of the reasons that you've described to me here, whether it was range, lack of cohesion, providing a shield for your team, people not capitalizing off of shout, and so on, those are details, and they're important details, but they're not near as important as your execution of the base fundamentals of what makes the character good. And even in some of the flashes of gameplay that I saw skipping around there were some good things that you were doing in terms of how you were playing the characters, and that was great to see. But there were also some really, really bad things and how you were approaching the game. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. It's obvious. Right. But my point being is that there's a lot under your control, and it's not just if you had just hit your shot there, or if you had primaled that, or if you'd stuff that maybe you'll get down the road as you improve at the game, maybe. But like things that are immediately accessible for you right now, or in a week of practice that you could do. And that's what I want to put emphasis on. I don't want to put emphasis on if you were a GM Winston player, you wouldn't feel the need to swap, because guess what? You're not a GM Winston player. And it's going to take you forever to get there, right? It's not that you can't get there. I want to say a plat Junkerqueen would have found a way to work around this, right? Or would have had or a platinum Ramattra or a platinum Doomfister, or whatever the case may be. There's nothing wrong with Junkerqueen, Ramattra, Doomfist, or Diva as a hero pool. And unless you really, really want to play Winston, I don't think you should swap. And I also think that you should challenge yourself to solve problems, because we'll talk about Junkerqueen right now. Because you described, I don't feel like my team was getting good value out of my shout. And on paper, you look at this and you're like, all right, we've got Venture, we've got Lucio, we've got Cassidy. There's a lot of peoples here that can kind of like speed with me and group up and push with me. But frankly, unless you're playing it at the pro level, and sometimes not even then, the synergy between heroes is the third most important thing when you consider a tank. Actually, it's the fourth. The number one thing is your comfort on the character, okay? The number one, obviously. Yeah. Can you guess what the number two thing that educates a swap?
The tanks pick?
It's not. That's a good guess, but it's not. It's the map.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to consider, does this map let me do what this character does? Now, if you were to describe what does Junkerqueen like in terms of a map, what comes to mind?
Like a bunch of corners.
Yeah.
She can hide behind.
Yeah, a lot of corners. What about high ground?
It's not that big of a problem, but it can be, yeah, because she can't get up there.
Prefer not to,
yeah.
Right? So anything with shorter sightlines, a lot of cover, love it, right? Now, not so brawly that you'd run into Ryan every game, maybe not the best, but that's something that I'd prefer. Okay, so it's the map is number two. Number three is you were on the right track, but you're still not quite right. I want you to think very carefully. When you described to me your difficulties playing Junkerqueen right now, what did you describe? You said the range, right? Yeah. But that's not the enemy Junkerqueen here. Who are you really worried about on the top right?
Probably the soldier.
And
the Cass.
And? You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of characters that can poke you out here. Doesn't mean that you can't play around it, because this map is okay for you, right? But my point being is that if you're only looking at tank, the reason why tank rock, paper, scissors is overrated is not that counterpicking isn't a thing. It's that it's just the tank counterpicking isn't the only important factor. I'm not even convinced that it's the most important factor for most tanks. For some tanks, maybe like Winston, it can be difficult. But even with Winston, really the only counterpick for Winston that's truly difficult to deal with can be Roadhog. Even Amalga and Diva is a lot easier to deal with than it was before. So for you, when we consider what's the third most important thing, it is the enemy composition, not the enemy tank. The entire package. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And this gets me to my final point. The fourth most important thing when considering a hero is your team. Fourth. The most inoffensive, least interesting aspect of counterpicking is what does my team playing? The only thing that you have to consider when you're picking tank is do we have enough healing on paper to keep me up? And even then, that's not the most important thing. If I'm playing Ram, generally would prefer to have like an Ana, Moira Bap, Mercy, Kiriko. I mean, I'm pretty flexible. Lifeweaver, those are all fine. But I probably won't play Ram with a Briggs in, right? I might. You could definitely make it work. It's just not going to be optimal, right? Junkerqueen, you can run with literally any support duo. You don't need that much healing, right? But once you've checked that box, your comp is not that important, because the nice thing about tank utility, like Zarya Bubbles, like Junkerqueen Shout, like Ramattra Shield, is that the Overwatch designers developed those abilities so that they can help your team, but that 90% of the value is something that you can consistently get value out of yourself. And even at the professional level, Junkerqueen's shout is not exclusively used for team value. In fact, oftentimes, outside of speeding out a spawn, only 2 people might be getting the shout at any given point in time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I want you to take your ownership of what I can do, to not worry about your teammates, and to focus on what tank do I want to play, what does the map provide, what is good versus the enemy comp, and then more than that, put ownership on how I can adjust what I'm doing to get value. Because I think you look at the situation here and you're like, oh, I struggled with the enemy poke. But did you think or can strategize ways of closing the distance without taking poke? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a very important question. I'm not saying beat your head against a brick wall if you cannot figure it out, but make sure that you've given it a good go, because that's how learning happens. Otherwise, you're going to be hard stuck gold counter swapping for an infinite. And there's a lot of people I've coached that have been stuck in that. And they've just been in plat for 5 seasons because all they do is they counterpick enemy comp and it doesn't work because they're not that good. You sometimes have to beat your head against a brick wall a little bit to figure things out. So let's take a look. Does all that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So enemy comp, hinder could be tough. Poke damage could be tough. So how, on theory, with strategy, can you close the distance effectively and safely versus this composition?
Just shout and just run from wall to wall.
Yeah, a lot of cover usage. Good. Let's see how we do. So I like the execution here, but there's one little detail, important detail of the execution. So first off, this is terrifying. Well done. Like this is intense. But what is the one problem about you pushing here?
I don't have line of sight with my supports.
More than that. That's one detail, but there's something. Think even bigger picture. Watch this. I'll even cheat for you. What is your teammates doing right now?
Still going to the point.
Right. And the answer is nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Right. If their Junkerqueen was here, and your team had something to shoot, then it would be worth it. Right now, there's a real risk of what we call a 5v1, right?
Yeah.
Not because your teammates can't follow up onto your target. I don't care if they can follow up on your target. They just need to follow up on something, and they can't do it right now. They're not as fast as you. And they're even trying to, right? They're walking forward trying to help, which is why you're able to get out here, because they actually start to follow up now. But I want you to always, no matter what tank you're playing, whenever you get an opportunity like this is downtime, right? What should you do right now before you peek this corner?
Spoken.
What is it?
What should I do? Check to see what my team is.
That's it. Turn the corner, safety. Okay, with this information, how should you play this fight?
I should probably wait a couple of seconds to feel my Cassidy get better cover. Same with
What if your
Colloseo
Cassidy
and
doesn't move? What if your Cassidy doesn't move?
I need to take a more aggressive angle.
Okay. Do you think you could take a more aggressive angle than this here?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
I could maybe go over to that room over there, but I think that's too early to go there.
Where's your team fighting? Like, where's the approximate line of where your team is set up to shoot and fight, approximately, with what we can see here?
Just main.
Just main,
Ready
right?
to shoot BAP.
Right. Somewhere around BAP. Like, if we were to draw a line here, it'd be somewhere like here, all right? It'd be somewhere right across here, okay? So your job is generally, you want to try to fight where your team can fight. So then how would you adjust how you use your cooldowns here? Does that mean that you shouldn't peek and shoot this? No, it's okay. Does that mean that you shouldn't Gracie this? No, it's okay. But how would that change how you use your shout, for example?
Probably should have held on to it.
I agree. What happens when you peek this corner, shoot, hit the knife? What do you do now? You're right here. You hit the knife. What now?
I pull him towards me.
What would you commit, or would you stay?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I hit my Gracie. I have
Sure.
my
Sure. So it's a risk, but it's a risk, but it's worth it because you hit your Gracie. You understand?
yes.
So I want you to play your team is holding. I fight as a tank where my team can see, not necessarily me, but can see somebody. But hey, if I hit a Gracie, I might just go.
Yeah. I just like full sent it back way back because we're on up, one up and I'm low.
Right, right. And then now, what should you do now? So we're out, we're out, we're out, we're out, we're out. What now? Remember the rule. What do? You got downtime? What do?
To find an aggressive angle.
Or, you see?
Check my team.
Just check, because guess what? They're walking forward. You can push here, just maybe not right now. Wait like half a second, and then do it again. And what do? You throw your Gracie, you go fishing, you see what you get, and then we go from there. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I want you doing. Yeah. With every tank that you play, Ramattra, Doomfist, Ram, Junkerqueen, whatever, just check your team's position, put some pressure. Check your team's position, pressure. Over and over and over and over again. Should you shout?
I probably should have shouted and then pulled him because I was way too far away. I'm pretty sure I missed this. 100% missed this.
I agree. I agree. Now the good news is that is your team fighting right now, elsewhere?
Yes, they're finding the JQ.
That's right. So the question is which JQ is going to do it better? I don't know. So your problem there was actually the opposite. Before you shouted, before you should have, where your team wasn't there, and before you even knew if you'd hit the Gracie. This time you hit the Gracie, and instead of shouting and committing when you could have, or maybe at least played the corner, right? You kind of halfway commit, don't commit, and then commit shout late. Right? You didn't have to push there if you didn't want to, but if you were going to, you absolutely had to use shout. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's keep going here. Nice. Okay. Okay, we'll wait.
I've just got a question real quick.
Of course.
When you hit your Gracie, do you get more damage if you leave your knife on them?
No, you do not. You do not, because the DOT is like regardless of whatever. The reason why you leave, so there's a little detail here. Now you said you've watched every single one of my reviews. So do you know when you leave Gracie and when you pull it?
For example, with Winston, I wait like maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and then I chuck my knife on him once he's dived us. And if he jumps again, I pull him back, canceling his jump. And
yeah. That's a very niche example, though. What's a more consistent example? Watch this.
Just in case they fall into cover.
Watch this. I peek this Ana, and I hit my Gracie in this Ana. I'm not going to be able to kill her here. Okay?
Yeah.
So the question is when do I pull? Do I pull right away or do I pull not right? If you're not going to be able to pull them into the open, what I want you to do is I want you to leave the knife in them. Because when they're stuck with knife, what's their brain thinking right now?
Yeah, I gotta hide or I'm gonna get pulled.
Right. So what you do is you let them think about it. And think about it. And think about it. And think about it. And then you let the knife automatically pull itself. Does that make sense?
It's distraction.
Right. Yeah. Because the thing is I don't know if people know this, but you do not get your knife back faster if you pull it. So if I hit it here and I pull now, 6 seconds, right?
Yeah.
But if I stick it in that Ana, right. If I stick it on, just let her think about it, right? Look, the cooldown's already expiring. You see that?
Yeah.
So what I would do is, in that situation there, like, let's say you stick the EDR and you're like, I can't push that, it's too far away. Just let it sit. Make her think about it for a little while longer. Make her hide behind cover and not peek for a longer period of time. That's a little micro detail. Good question. Now, we're off to a pretty good start here in the second fight here, because check out what you do. Not only do you hit the Grace here and make the guy think about it. You see that? You see, look what happened. Look what happened. Look what happened. So he gets stuck with knife. Watch his body language. Yeah. You see that? That's a lot of damage that he's not doing. That's a lot of damage that he's not doing. Because there's no way you could kill him, right? There's no way. So might as well just let it stick.
Yeah.
Look at what you're doing. You see it? Cover.
Yeah.
Check your team's positioning. Okay, we're walking. With the information that you just had right here, what can you do right now?
Shout and just leg it.
We can shout and walk in. Let's go.
I'm so upset about that.
I mean, yeah, the mechanics would make me want to like just quit Overwatch, but the thing is like, not even the mechanics, just like the goof up there, but like, you did a good job. You did a good job. You checked your team's positioning, you committed, you hit your Gracie, you pulled, and you just didn't quite finish the kill. But this is great for your team. Look at the space that you have for your team now. And that was without your Lucio. You didn't need your team to get shot for that to be the smart play. Now, what do you need to do now? Because I know what I'm scared I know what you're going to do, and I'm going to be pretty upset, but what should you do now?
I was genuinely stumped here because I can't play Junkerqueen on high ground. I don't understand how to play her on high ground because because one of my abilities just becomes. Well, I just don't have one of my abilities basically.
So
Just the
how do you play
axe.
Junkerqueen in flat ground?
I use cover and wait for somebody to poke, and I pray to God I hit my Gracie.
So how do you play Junkerqueen in high ground?
I try to not to. I try to just drop down, or if I am on up ground, up on high ground, I wait for somebody to go below me, and I try and assassinate them. Just jump on
Okay.
them with axe.
How you play Junkerqueen on low ground is how you play Junkerqueen on high ground. But the difference is that you can choose to commit when and where you can, and the enemy team can't commit on you. That's it. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. It's actually funny because you have an advantage on high ground because you don't have to drop if you don't want to, but because it's another opportunity, you're overwhelmed and you avoid it, which I find hilarious. That's like saying, do you want to go to this restaurant, that restaurant, this restaurant? You go, no, just give me the first option. It's too many options. Yeah. So what should you do here? What should you do? First off, you've had downtime here. You missed the kill. What should you do with your camera?
Check where my teammates are.
With this information, what should you do?
I'm not too sure. Everybody's quite spread out from
Yeah,
my team to
but
the
but
enemy
but
team
you
as
don't
well.
but you don't care. You don't care. Your goal is, can my team shoot things? And the answer is yes, they can. So you can go.
Yep.
That's all. Don't worry about them being spread out or grouped up for your shout or your no. You just do your job. They're here to shoot things. You're good. So then, what should you do? Look at your cooldowns. Tell me what you should do.
I play that sign there and just wait for my cooldowns.
Should you? What cooldown are you really waiting for here?
My axe
Okay, or
my Gracie.
sure. Because
Or
what
shout-
could you?
shout-
Or,
shout me.
any? The answer is yes, all of them, right? So any of them, any of them. So what happens when you get Gracie? Because you're about to get Gracie. What are you going to throw it at?
I think I should have thrown it at Alari, but I threw it at her pylon.
Right. Okay. So if you throw it at Alari and you hit Alari, you don't have shout, you don't have carnage, but maybe you should still drop. Right? Maybe you should still drop with how exposed she is, right? And that's all it is. But like, let's say you miss it. Well, that's why we play high ground. So you don't have to commit if you don't want to. And you could tell the panic here. You're just totally
Yeah.
lost. You don't need to be lost. Just relax. Look what opportunities are provided. Let's count the opportunities here. You have Gracie right now. What do you see? What do you see?
I have Alari and I have the Junkerqueen facing my Avenger.
That's right. Could you Gracie realistically any of these characters and get messy with it? Yes.
Yes.
So just pick one. And if you don't like what you see, then don't. You also have Carnage as well, so you could go on the Gracie or go on the EDRA, or you could go on the Junkerqueen now. You hear Cassidy below. You've got cooldowns. You've got your pull. You could drop in the Cassidy as well.
Actually, I don't think I heard him. Actually, I don't think I heard him for quite a while.
Oh, that's fine then. Regardless, the options that we had were
I heard him
fine.
right here.
Okay. Reasonable shot, yes or no?
Probably not. I was in cover, and they didn't really have any angle on me.
What does shout allow you to do?
Speed boost, and I get extra HP.
Do you think that you probably, potentially, possibly needed the speed boost here?
Yes.
I think so too. Now, obviously he died, but you didn't know that was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. Now what?
I wrap around the back because we're one up, and that's just juicy. That was. I was so proud of my honor there.
Let's jump. Oh, I thought that was going to hit. I thought that was going to hit.
I was upset about that as well.
I thought it was going to hit.
Thought this was gonna hit as well.
Okay. This is pretty tight. Okay, you know what? Basically, here's what I'm trying to simplify for you. All this is Find a corner, check your team's positioning, fish with Gracie, look for opportunities to push, and just shoot. That's it. It's no complication. Just do your job. That's all. Over and over and over again. Does that make sense? There needs to be no complication with this whatsoever. And we may not get the time to go in as detail with Ramattra and Doomfist, but I want you to apply that level of thinking with those characters. Do your job, do damage, play cover, check your team's positioning over and over again. You don't need to over-strategize, overthink. You just need to do your job and get value. You might not win every game that way. Nobody does. It's not your job to win every game. Your job is to set small goals, improve at those mechanics, and move on. I would like to, can you stream Discord through Discord?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, I would like to jump into a game right now if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's completely fine.
I'd like to actually like practice what we're preaching here. So if you can stream a game, let's do that. And I'm going to make you jump into ranked as well.
Yep. Able to see?
Yep, I can see just fine. Excellent. All right. And I'm going to level it up to you can play whatever tank you want, even if it's not JQ. Because I don't think it matters what you play with what we're talking about. It's actually a pretty cool Zarya skin. I didn't know that skin existed.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. The Apocalypse skin.
Yeah,
I don't
think
know
it's
how
like,
I got it.
I guess the Overwatch 2 skins, you know, are just like a little bit better disguised. Back in the day, it was like much more simple, like to know. Like I think almost literally every single skin in Overwatch 1 just by playing the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might need to turn my game down a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Game audio or the graphics?
Game. Oh, I just can't hear you that well. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've just got my stuff to be loud. That's all.
That's fine. Okay. Play whatever tank you'd like. So with Ram, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a corner. You're going to check your team's positioning by turning around before the fight starts. All you're going to do is you're going to use your cooldowns, shoot people, and look for opportunities to push. That's all. You're not going to worry about your backline. You're not going to worry about your DPS line. The only thing that you're worried about is where are they? That's all. And as long as they're doing things, then that's all you're concerned about. Even now checking. That's great. Right, turn around again. Just make sure they're there. You know, make sure they're not like gaslighting you. Oh, yes, okay, yeah, I don't know. You might just stay in spawn to mess with you. You never know.
I might just go out of this.
Works for me.
I don't know what they might say, and I don't want to. I know
That's fine.
I've said a couple of words that I shouldn't have already.
Okay. No problem. All right, so where's your team set up? Junkrat's pushed up forward. Okay, it looks like they're comfortable holding the choke, so we're okay with this here. And remember, far is not your responsibility if you can't reach her. Your responsibility is to shoot what you can shoot. Very nice. I like taking the downtime there to turn around and check your team's positioning. It's good. All right, where's your team? Is your team pushed up or is your team backed off? I see Venture's pushing up. Okay.
Oh, wrong side.
That's okay. Where's your team? Play with your team. I like this. Just hold the choke. Don't necessarily need to push past the choke because your team may not be able to help you there, but they can hold you on the choke. And if you see your Venture walk, you walk with your Venture. It's good. Good. Your team play is, again, where are we fighting? I will help you fight here. Not I will protect you, not I will shield you, but I will fight with you. That is your job as a tank. Exactly what you're doing right here.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then as your Venture backs up, you back up too. It's fine. Good. Stay on what target that you can kill. Almost. Oh, nice. Same thing here. Just shoot what you can shoot. And if you can live and get out, maybe, maybe not.
Ah,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. The fact that they had to barrage you is fine. I think my only critique there is I think there were a couple opportunities where you may have been able to pivot onto Sombra to force a translocator. That might have been useful. Just generally looking for squishies instead of tanks if you can. Because I don't know if you can kill a Junkerqueen with Mercy Pocket, right?
yeah.
But other than that, it's fine. Okay, let's check your team's positioning. How many people are with you?
24.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then we play around this. Yes. Although your Mercy might get spawn camped, I'd be a little concerned.
Oh, wait, she's so bad far back.
Yeah. You may not be able to do much about it. Okay, so we're holding here.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
Beautiful. Check your team's positioning. Oh, your Mercy just
She died.
jumped off the map. Just hold the corner. Hold the corner because that's where we're fighting. You see an opportunity to ult any squishy you can if you'd like.
Ooh,
It's okay.
that sucks.
That's okay. That was Valk. That was JQ Ultimate as well, I believe. Did they EMP or no?
No, not yet.
Oh, nice. You got 2 trades as well. Beautiful. So there are a lot of characters here between the Sombra and Pharah that you're not going to be able to reach as much. So this is where you could swap off of Ram. But I don't want you to, not at least for another fight. I want you to be creative. How am I going to get value out of this ultimate? Am I going to win the tank trade? Am I going to hunt down a squishy and clear a high ground? I want you to be creative. Solve the problem. Beautiful. Or you could just track. That's beautiful. Excellent. Excellent job. Really nice. Nice. Like, great fight. Like, that's not easy to do. You were creative. You solved the problem. Now, if this fight goes poorly, you can swap, but I don't want you to think of it just yet. I want you to see if you can predict what's going to happen in this fight. Provide value. Do damage. Where's my team? Where do I need to be? Where's the best position for me to do damage?
I reckon I can hold this area for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. I like this.
Actually, they got a soldier now.
Ooh, even better, right?
Oh.
Nice, nice. I mean, you zoned backline, so that failed the MP. Good job. Good, 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 good. Yes. All right. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Oh, no way he did get that.
Oh, you got it. Beautiful, beautiful. Stay locked in. Where can you get value? Who can you push? Who can you pressure here?
I'm gonna try and get this messy.
Sounds good.
Where'd you go?
She just disappeared. Perfect. Nice job. So you're being much more creative with your abilities and your targets than this Junkerqueen. He's just pretty much sat on you the entire game. And obviously it's not gone so well, so this is good. In fact, you made them swap off of a character that you're good versus. Or onto a character. Okay, so they're on Bastion now. Bastion's a bit of a mixed bag. Be creative. Problem solve. Where's my team? Where are we fighting? I think your Venture's going to get out. Yeah, so where do we want to hold here? Do damage, do damage, do damage. Yes, beautiful. Very nice. Good. So this fight's probably lost, so let's maybe get a trade here, see if we can kill a squishy. Even if you die, like, get a trade. Oh, oh, oh,
I
oh.
want to. Oh, I want to, but I can't.
That was close. That was close. Yeah, that was a very good fight. So I really appreciate how much attention you were giving your Venture with where they're setting up. Like, you did such a good job with that. That's team play right there. You see your Venture going in, you try to help. You know, you don't need to be with them, but you do need to be doing something. All right, let's be creative here. They're on Mei. They're on Bastion. This ult is not just an I win button. This will be tricky. Let's be creative. How can you get value with this?
Oh shit!
You're good. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Suffering.
Trying to eat everything.
Yeah, that Valk is tough. Still winnable here. Nice. Next target, stay locked in.
I lost him.
That's okay. That's okay. Don't forget the vortex as well, you can. Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful. Nice.
Where is she?
She's just running laps. All right. I mean, you played perfectly. And the best part about it was there was a lot of reasons for you to make swaps here. As soon as I see Pharmacy Sombra, I don't like playing Ramattra. Even the JQ is not exactly a great matchup for me, right? But what you did is you were able to use your weapon really well. You were able to use your shield really well. You were able to like take creative spaces, and you were really hard to just, even though you didn't kill stuff for a couple of fights there, you didn't take a lot of damage. You didn't demand a lot of healing. And so you found creative ways to get value. Now, this wasn't exactly playing Winston to Bastion Reaper moment, but it was a challenging moment, and you solved it, right? You solved a solution. This was not gold gameplay. This was platinum gameplay. I'm going to be honest with you. So your question for yourself is, why is it that sometimes I'm able to relax and play like this, and even when it's under a reasonable amount of challenge, and not able to play like this in other times, right? Like the JQ example in Colloseo was great, where you simultaneously would hit some crazy combos, and then sometimes you just freeze and not know what to do, and you'd play terribly.
Yeah.
You know? I think you need to take a closer look at that and simplify your process here. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to walk out, and I want you to scout enemy composition, not to decide what tank to play, but to decide how to play it. Where do you go? How to use your cooldowns? Where should you position? What do you think? Be a strategist as soon as you leave these spawn doors. They're probably going to be on another tank, would be my prediction. Yep. Be a strategist. Don't just use your cooldowns. How do you approach this? Ooh. Okay. Now that Arissa's going to...
That was lucky.
Well, I mean, it was lucky, but you put yourself in the spot where luck would happen. Because luck didn't put you on that flank. You did. Right?
Yeah.
And that you looked at the Orisa and you're like, okay, well, I don't really want to tank trade with her, but I do have a little bit of speed, right? I got a little bit of flexibility. Let me take this angle here. And guess what? You created your own luck. Really, really smart. Really smart. Nice job. That's tanking. By the way, what was your shield used for? What was your vortex used for? Did you provide any sort of meat shield for your team?
I think I did, yeah.
But because you were a threat, right? You didn't purposefully go out seeking value to protect your team. You just try to kill people. You just try to kill people, you know, and that's what's helpful. Sometimes protecting your team through a bubble and stuff like that can be useful. But when you think about like what is a literal definition of a tank in the real world, it's not really a protection device directly. It's more of a ball of pain that creates space for soldiers, right? And that's often what you are. Now, you can protect people sometimes, but that's never your first priority. Okay. Strategist. Press tab. What are they on right now? Where's your team? Semme. Okay.
Had a bad time.
That's okay. You're very well equipped to deal with this.
Oh, no.
You're good? Good. Sometimes your strategy is just surviving. Good. Good. Excellent. I mean, you just absorbed all their cooldowns there, right? Like, you just absorbed it. You didn't take too much damage. Sometimes you are the punching bag. Sometimes you are the fist, right? And I think this game you were a little bit of both, right? Nice job. Nice job. You did an excellent job checking your team's positioning. You were never, ever, ever out of position with your pushes because you always knew where people were. And the funny thing is you weren't even with your team most of the game. Up until the end there, right? But you guys were always fighting in sync, fighting as a unit, even if you were split. And that's really the spirit of Overwatch 2. It's not that Overwatch 2 is team deathmatch. It's that Overwatch 2 has so much more space for people to pursue their strengths in sometimes different directions. So what I'd like to do here is I'd like to actually take a look at that game for just a couple fights. So send me the replay code. Okay, I will restart my stream. You might have to click on my profile picture, then click over.
Yep, so good.
Also, the Discord stream was a little bit laggy when I was watching. So if you go back and watch... No, what I'm saying is, like, if you go back and watch it and you're like, oh, this is terrible, it's fine. I could see what was going on, and that's all that matters. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I'm just going to recall...
Okay. Can you see?
Just a second.
If you still can't see it, like I said, just click on my profile picture at the top of the call.
I see it now.
Click over.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, let's take a look here. So what I would like to do is I'd actually like to do what we did with Junkerqueen, where we critiqued how you used and how you played around your cooldowns. Okay? Because I don't want to critique how you positioned yourself, nor do I want to critique your awareness of your team, because those things were exceptional this game. They were not. But I think we can put some thought into how we use our cooldowns. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's actually skip to a later point, because I think let's go to our recon test here. All right. And I'm not going to ask you... Okay, I actually have to know here.
Yeah, I have to know as well. I think they're just holding tab. Oh my god.
So I'm not going to ask you how do you use your cooldowns, because I think you probably already have a general idea. I want you to critique what you see. Thoughts?
See on myself or see on the enemies?
On yourself. What do you think about this?
I think this is fine at the moment.
Okay. Why do you shield here?
1, to stop the incoming damage, and 2, to protect the Venture that's needs to fall back.
Okay. Why do you Vortex?
I'm not sure.
You see, the thing with Ramattra is you can always come up with a reason why you shield or why you Vortex, but because it's a 12 and a 13-second cooldown, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Did I actually do anything with this? And the answer with your shield was probably. The answer with your Vortex was definitely not.
Yeah.
So you know what you do with your Vortex here? Is you don't do anything with your Vortex. You just sit there and shoot. And then you Vortex now. You understand? Because Vortex can allow you to push or it can prevent you from being pushed. It's up to you how you want to use it. You can use it aggressive, defensive, depends. But you don't just use it, right? You don't just use it. Okay. This is whatever. We're resetting. We'll go back again. Love the replay viewer buzzing. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thoughts in this Vortex?
I
Does it
think
have
it's alright.
purpose?
Everybody's surrounded.
Does it have purpose?
Yeah, everybody.
Of course. Does this have purpose?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, obviously, and it blocks off the heals. Now, obviously, in hindsight, it's only going to block off Lucio healing. So maybe you put the shield closer to yourself to block Junkerqueen shots instead, right? But there's purpose. Maybe not the execution perfect, but there was purpose. And that's the big thing. Okay? Lots of suffering. Lots of suffering. Always love to see that. What's their purpose?
I'd just give a free damage.
Yeah.
1,000 shield in front of a obstacle.
What's their purpose?
Oh, she's pushing all the way through. I've got to
Yeah,
stop a
yeah,
teammate.
yeah. So it's good. Very good. All right, look at this poor Lucy. He's moving at like the speed of not sound.
Yeah.
Not sound. You stuck. It's scuffed. If you get my joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. Purpose? Yes. She bounced on you.
I just run around, yeah. What did she?
Purpose? Yes. Very good. Keep going. So there's two ways of doing this. There's one, double checking to make sure that we have purpose with every cooldown. And then number two, there's, could I have done the cooldown better? Even though it was like good to use it, could I have placed it better? Could I have used it like at a better time in a better spot? We're not going to be doing the second one today, although that's something that I encourage you to practice. Right now, we're just going to be like, did you actually use it with any intent? And I think for the most part, the answer has been sometimes. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. If anything there, I think you probably could have thrown shield here, actually, sooner. I think you could have thrown shield sooner. Yes? No. I know why you did this, because you're like, oh, I don't want him to push me. But, I don't know. I think you can get away without it there. Right? And that's going to be part of your learning curve, is finding when it's a cooldown a waste and when is it not a waste. Okay, we'll skip it. Skip. We lose this fight. Thoughts?
I wanted to place that up further. That was just mechanical.
But the idea was there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What's missing? You notice it? What's been sitting available for quite a while?
Background.
Vortex.
Oh yeah, Vortex. I didn't.
And the damage is no longer insignificant. In fact, if I pull up Ramattra Overwatch, I want to say it's like 70 damage total now. I might be incorrect. I know it was a lot lower. Where is it at? Wood Bear.
All of it, like after, well, it's 3 seconds or however long it is.
Yeah, so it's it's 70 damage. Yeah, it's 70 damage total. I mean, that's significant. It's AoE, it slows, and people also are scared of it because it makes a lot of noise. And you can weave it in between punches. Like right now, this is prime Vortex country, right? Punch, Vortex, punch, yeah? So my point being here is actually not just, oh, you're wasting your cooldowns. Sometimes you're not using them when you have ample value. And I've noticed this throughout the course of the VOD, that when you're in Nemesis form, you never Vortex. You Vortex often when you're in Omnic form, your Poke form, but when you get into Nemesis, you focus on your punches. That's a habit you need to work at. Doesn't mean you always have to use Vortex when you're punching, but it is something you need to keep an eye on. You forget about it.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually think I had to call it for you here. At one point, I know I did.
Yeah, you definitely did. You're like, use it, use it.
Yeah, I don't remember when, but yeah. Like, this is a perfect opportunity where actually you would have had, I think, at least 2, maybe 3 Vortex.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, there we go. There's your damage. But beyond that, this is good. You know, this is good. The shields were good. The Nemesis form was good. The Annihilation was good. No complaints. Let's keep going. And we'll finish this up. Any questions so far?
Defend objective A.
With Vortex,
Yes.
do you reckon it's just like luck, or do you reckon you should place it in front or behind them, or does that just depend on certain
You need to read the tempo. You need to read the situation. Is the enemy team pushing? Is the enemy team kiting? And then use it accordingly. Right? That's it. You have to read the situation. Like, in a lot of those circumstances, you didn't have to make that call. Let's look at it. Right, we just needed to play it. Let's look at this situation right here. Terrible Vortex, first off, right? But if you were to place Vortex now, what do you think the enemy's motion will be, given your positioning?
Just gonna have a spasm. They don't know what to do.
Right. If anything, they might press backwards, right? Because you're scary.
Yeah.
So then with your vortex, you're still going to put it on top of them, but you might lean it just, whoops, I did not mean to press that. You might
Just a
lean
little
it
bit further.
slightly behind them, just a little bit, right? Just in the anticipation of where they're going to move, right? But I think generally the adjustments of placing it in front or behind are really more micro adjustments, and generally you're aiming to put it somewhere around their feet most of the time.
Yeah.
That being said, this is a great example of you are not protecting your team right now. You were threatening the enemy team. And you could have sat here and traded with the Orisa Symmetra till the cows come home, but you're like, oh, this angle's free. I have speed. I have vortex. Let's cook. And look at the space that you created. Orisa turns around. Mercy's isolated. Orisa gives up space. You commit. And then there you go. This is tanking. This is tanking, right? It's not all, you don't always see Ramattra on a flank because you are a little slow, but you read the situation, didn't want to play paddock kick with Orisa, and you got rewarded for it. My only complaint here is, again, the vortex at the start, right? Where it didn't really serve a purpose, and so now you're wishing you had it.
Just needed to master that.
Yep. But this is why I was saying it wasn't luck. By the way, this one, another situation where vortex is available. Notice that you only use it when your nemesis form ended. You see that?
Yeah.
It was a good vortex. It forced the TP 100%. She had to TP, otherwise she would have died, and then she got killed because she TP'd. But, yeah. But that's tanking. You do your job. You output pressure. You do things to threaten the enemy team at the same time as your team, and that's the key thing. All that fight, you were not fighting by yourself. Not a single second were you fighting by yourself. Compare that to the first fight, Colloseo, right? Okay. I would say you could no, I think you're okay. You weren't with your team because somebody had to push guard. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. It's no problem.
I would rather not push cart, but I know it needs to get done.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. I hate that vortex. I know why you did it. I still hate it.
Yeah, I was trying to bounce it off the wall, yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to bounce off the wall, maybe suck there. Let's put it this way. I don't hate it. I just don't like the principle of just maybe this will hit somebody. Because I know in the next 5 seconds you're going to find a use for it, right? Like right now, if you had Vortex, you should be committing now. The problem is that you're still 3 seconds of Vortex. So you're going to commit, but there's a real world where this Symmetra could have gotten away before you got Vortex. And also knowing you're probably not going to Vortex anyway because it's Nemesis form.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there it is. Shield's good. Vortex is good there. And that's basically it. Let's take some notes. So, general basic principles with tanking. What do you need to practice? Take your time.
What do I need to practice? Focusing on where my team is.
Yep. Pre-fight checks on your team's positioning. Mentality. Is it your job to protect your team?
No.
Sometimes, but usually no. It's not
yeah.
your job. Yeah, to protect your team alone. Your job is to pressure and pressure efficiently. And I mean that as in like, you know, you could take a trillion damage, demand healing 24/7, and be like, I'm tanking. But you need to pressure efficiently, right? You need to take as little healing resources as you can while doing as much damage as you possibly can. And doing as much damage not just on the enemy tank, but on the targets that are most likely to die, right? So that's the key thing. Okay, what else? I would say those are the main 2 tanking issues, right? What about the counterpicking game?
Oh yeah, I wrote that down. I don't think I actually said the 5th reason. I got down the first 4 is the comfortability.
I think that might be. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think I'm just dumb.
Yeah.
Which is very, very reasonable. So it's comfort, mat, enemy comp, not just tank, comp, right? Not just tank. But yeah. Team is the same thing. Friendly team. And remember to strategize. Don't just immediately swap. It's okay to swap. It really is. Just make sure that it's earned. Just make sure that it's earned. Okay. JQ specific stuff. Anything in particular?
Shouts. I need to use it more efficiently because it's such a high cooldown. and it provides like
In what way would you use it more efficiently? Be specific.
if I hit my Gracie, I need to just full commit if I have the opportunity to. Not if it's like super dangerous though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to simplify that. Sorry.
Sure, that's okay. How about this? I dropped it in there.
Yep.
Okay. Shout to follow Gracie commits. In the meantime, fish with poke Gracie.
Yeah.
Won't overthink high ground. It's the same thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just shoot. Relax. Find a target. Use cover. Ramattra. We really only talked about one thing in particular.
Vortex.
Vortex. Do not forget about Vortex and Nemesis. And largely have a purpose with both of your CDs. Do you have any questions?
No, not at the
Okay.
moment.